Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our English class. In this video, you will learn about context clues. When we say context clues, these are the hints that the author gives to help define a difficult or unusual word. The clue may appear within the same sentence as the word to which it refers, or it may follow in the next sentence. It is important that you should be able to recognize and take advantage of context clues, since most of your vocabularies are gained through reading. Using context means you figure out what words mean by how they are used in the sentence or paragraph where they appear. There are several different context clues that you can use to help you figure out unfamiliar words, to help you know or understand those unfamiliar words. Authors often use punctuation clues to help the reader. Punctuation clues might include the commas, the dashes, or parentheses. To better understand, we have here some examples. Mary kept the deed to her mother's house. In this sentence, let us define the word retained. How do we define the word retained? With the use of the context clue, we will be able to know the meaning of retained. Since we said it's context clue, the clue is in the context. The clue here is the word kept. How did we know that? We said a while ago, clues comes after the comma. As you can see, we have the unfamiliar word retained, and after that, we have a comma in the meaning. Another example, I wonder if that fruit is edible, able to be eaten. We have here the words edible, and with the use of the context clue, and our clue here is we have able to be eaten. And please be reminded also, the meaning is after the comma. To know the meaning of unfamiliar words, we use different types of context clues. There are at least 4 kinds of context clues that are quite common. First, synonyms. Next, antonyms. Then we have explanation and example. Authors may use word clues such as synonyms. Synonyms are words with almost the same meaning. Or antonyms are words opposite in meaning or near the unfamiliar term. To better understand this, we have some examples. Reducing cholesterol has a number of beneficial results. One positive outcome is reducing the risk of heart disease. This is a synonym clue. Our word here is results. What is the synonym of results in this context or in this text? We have the outcome. Now, we already know the meaning of results based on the synonym outcome. Another example, I despise liver but I adore steak. We have here the antonym clue. Let us define the word despise. In order for you to understand the meaning of despise, we have here the antonym clue, and the antonym clue is adore. It means the antonym of adore is the meaning of despise. So with these 2 examples, we can now understand the sentence. In this text, we already know and we already defined the words. Another is we use the definition, and we have here an example. Most castles had high walls and were surrounded by a water-filled ditch called a moat. In here, we have the definition of the moat, which is a water-filled ditch. Next is we have the explanation. Sometimes the meaning of a word or phrase is explained immediately following its use. Example, we have here etymology. Etymology, which is the study of the origin of words, finds many teachers taking the bull by its horns when unraveling the mysteries of vocabulary studies. It is already explained in here. That's why we now know and understand the meaning of etymology. Another example, a biographer. As you can see, after the biographer, we have the comma. A biographer, or one who writes about people's lives, is an example of an author. See, so the meaning of biographer here is one who writes about people's lives. Writers use words like such as, for instance, for example, to indicate examples. The student was suffering from anxiety. For example, when he first saw the test, he began to tremble. In this kind of context clue, you can now define the word anxiety. This time, let us see if you understood our lesson. With the use of the context clue, you find the correct meaning of the unfamiliar word. Now let us try this. Wilson put a heavy coat, a wool scarf, several pairs of socks inside his boots, and fur-lined gloves to protect himself against the frigid weather. What is frigid? 1. Very dry. 2. Very hot. 3. Very wet. 4. Very cold. 5. Very old. And the answer is number 4, very cold. Because if you analyze the sentence, we have many clues that will tell us that the weather is very cold, and that is frigid. Next, acrophobia or fear of heights can make life difficult for tightrope walkers who suffer from it. Based on this sentence, what do we mean by acrophobia? And the answer is fear of heights. Another, bibliographies are often placed at the end of a chapter or textbook to list books in which you may find more information. Based on this sentence, what do we mean by bibliographies? 1. List of books. 2. List of chapters. 3. List of words. 4. List of authors. And the answer is list of books. There you go! Great job! Authors also use bold or italics to make a reader aware of an important term. Often the definition of the word in bold or italics follows. Example, the computer is a machine that accepts input, processes data, stores information, and produces output. In here, the word computer is in bold. Another example, we have the archaeology. Archaeology is the scientific study of prehistoric cultures by excavation of their remains. Archaeology here is in italics. So some authors are using the bold or italics to make us, the readers, aware of these important terms. Please be reminded, context clues are hints that the author gives to help define a difficult or unusual word. And there are several different context clues that we can use to help us figure out unfamiliar words. We have the synonyms, definition, antonyms, explanation, and example. With this, I just hope that you've learned something about context clues. Thank you for listening and God bless!